everyone, it's Stephanie from My Porch Prints. Welcome back. Today we're going to be making this Valentine Shops pocket journal. And this is a little bit different from other pocket journals we've done because this is actually a hidden pocket journal. It's got little secret pockets and little tags inside. And I think this would be a really fun gift for kiddos or for someone that you love. Just a fun way to put little surprises in here for them. So we're going to go ahead and get started putting this together. Okay, so we went ahead and printed everything on cardstock. We've got our shop pieces here, and then our cards and our fussy cut images. And for the shops, I didn't print anything on the back because you won't see that part, so we can leave that white. But for the cards, you will see the back of these when you pull them out. So I went ahead and used some of the backing papers provided just to print on the back of these. There's a lined paper that can give you some writing space if you want that. And then for the fussy cuts, I went ahead and used my CRICUT to cut these out. And when you cut them out on CRICUT, it might resize them to make them slightly smaller. And I don't think that's going to be a problem for me, but just a heads up that it might do that when you cut them on CRICUT. And we have a tutorial for how we use our CRICUT to fussy cut. I'll link that down below. But let's go ahead and cut these out and we'll get started putting it together. Okay, so we've cut everything out and now we're going to go ahead and start putting it together. And the first thing we're going to do is take our shops and fold them in half. And we're going to glue all along the outside edge. And when you're cutting your shops out, something you can think about doing is just scoring down the middle of your piece of paper when you still have it, before you've cut out your shop. And just, like get a ruler or something so you're sure to get it right in the center and score it. And then you can fold it in half and it should line up so that you can cut around it just once. So let me show you what I mean really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and use a ruler and just kind of mark the center of my paper here. I'll grab my scoreboard and just score right there, make a fold. And then I should be able to fold this in half and cut along one side. And then, I don't have to cut the whole thing out. I can just cut the one half and it will be aligned. So just something that you can do to make it go a little faster. Okay, so to begin, we're gonna go ahead and just glue around the outside edge of each of our shops. So we'll fold it in half and you'll want to probably crease that fold really good. And then we'll just glue around the very outside edge, trying to keep your glue as close to the edge as you can. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. And we'll just repeat that for every shop. Just stay close to that outside edge as you glue. Now we have all of our shops glued together, we're going to go ahead and add our fussy cut pieces. And these are just meant to give your journal a little bit of dimension. And I'm using mine with mounting tape. You can see it'll give it just a little bit of 3D effect. And like I said, these are just a little bit smaller because I cut them on my CRICUT. But we're going to go ahead and see if we can make them work. And there's enough of these for both sides of your journal page. So you can glue them onto the front and also onto the back. There we go. You can kind of see the dimensional effect there. And you can repeat that for all of the shops. I'm not going to right now just because it'll take a lot of time and I want to move on to show you how to assemble everything. But ideally you would glue all of these pieces onto all of the shops. And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now that we've got our fussy cuts put on, we can go ahead and punch our holes. And to do this, we've got this hole punch guide. You'll want to punch the holes out first. There we go. And then what we're going to do is just use this as a guide. We're going to find the straight edge of your journal page, not the, curvy edge. It's where the fold is, where you folded it. And we're gonna align it with the bottom and the side of this cover page. And that's gonna give us a guide for where to put our holes. And you can mark them with pen or pencil. And then we'll go ahead and punch those out. And then we're gonna go ahead and just do that for each of our shop images. Same thing, make sure you align it correctly on the bottom and the side. And it may interfere with some of your puffy pieces, that's okay. We're gonna go right over the top of those and punch the hole anyway. And it may be a little bit difficult with those puffy pieces, so just keep that in mind as you're adding them on, that they may interfere a little bit. You may want to only add them to one side, like if you have them on both sides, it could be hard to punch. Just a thought. Okay, so we've punched all of our holes and we're ready to go ahead and do our cut. And to do this, I've got a scrapbook trimmer, and if you're wanting any of the supplies that we're using, you can go down in the video description to our Amazon shop link, and it should have a lot of the items that we use. So now what I'm gonna do is make a cut on kind of like a natural line in the design, and I'm gonna do it right here between this frilly part of the awning and the top part of the awning. You can kind of choose, I guess, where you want it, where it will work best. Another way to decide, each of these shops comes with a matching tag, and you can go through and kind of find the tag that goes with the shop, and I can kind of see where that's going to land. And I want to make sure that the tag gets put into the top part, I'll call it kind of the lid, and then the bottom part of the page. I'll show you what I mean. So it's going to work kind of like an attachment piece to keep the top and bottom attached. So I'm going to go ahead and find that kind of natural line right here and cut it in half. And then what I'm going to do is insert my tag in the bottom. You can see it's sticking up here. And then this becomes kind of like a little lid, and it's going to go on top. And you don't want to spread it apart too much. You can spread it apart a little bit just to slide it in there, but you don't want it falling off. You want to keep that tension. That's what's going to hold it together. There we go. Okay. And so now this becomes like a little hidden pocket, and we can pull that off. Oop, and there's our tag inside. And we're gonna do that for all of these pieces, and I'll show you what I'm doing so that you can get an idea of like where to do your cuts. Try to locate the bakery image. I don't think there's popcorn in a bakery. Could be this one, but it's not, because that doesn't match quite right. Same thing with this. This is my bakery piece, the cupcake. So I'm gonna kind of look where it's gonna land, because I wouldn't want to cut above it, you know, like up here, because then it won't hold the pieces together. So I'm probably gonna do what I did again, just cut on this awning piece. And I think I'll cut below the awning. I think that might make a little more sense, just because it sticks out over here on the side. And if I cut above that, it might be just a little awkward. I'm gonna cut below it. Just right here. All right. And now we'll slip our little cupcake inside. And again, you can open it up a little, just not too much. And we'll put our lid on. And just align this left side here. And there you go, it's hidden in there. All right, we'll do that again with theater. And you can probably guess what goes with the theater. It's the popcorn. And I can kind of see where that's gonna land. So again, I wouldn't want to cut it up really high, because it wouldn't work. I need it down here so that this piece will hold the lid and the bottom together. So I'm gonna cut it fairly low. I think maybe below this level of hearts, right before the string lights. There we go. All right, and we're gonna repeat that for all of these. So you can just follow along, kind of watch where I cut and watch what piece goes with which. Now this one's just a little bit tricky. I wanted to talk about it a moment. So I've got my fussy cut pieces here and here, so they're really close together, and I think I'm gonna have to cut right in between them, so I'm gonna have to get a good straight cut right there. Okay, so now we're ready to bind this, and you have some options. We like to use these fused binder rings, and again, we'll have a link for this down below. Just because they're nice and sturdy, having the fuse there keeps it from flopping around, but you don't have to do that. If you want, you can use just regular binder rings too. It doesn't really matter. But we're gonna go ahead, and you can choose the order that you want your shops in. It might be preferable to have like taller ones in the back and shorter ones in the front, but you can choose whichever one you like for your cover. I liked this one. I thought it felt Valentine-y. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with this first one. And I'm going to open up my rings. And we'll just bind these together. And the only consideration you might want to make is if your tag is covering these holes, you may need to slide things around before you can bind it. So like inside of here, your tag may scooch over and you can see that it's covering those holes. So you have to kind of move that out of the way before we bind it. Okay, so we've got our journal all bound, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at it. And if you wanted to, you could add gift cards inside of here along with your tags, or you could add, you know, cash, or even little love coupons, or just words of encouragement, friendship coupons, whatever. Something fun and creative. We do have a love coupon book in our shop that has little coupons that say, you know, good for one free dinner, good for one free, you know, back rub or whatever. And so you could add something like that inside of here too. But it's just like a fun little secret hidden inside the shops to make this a cute little gift for somebody that you care about. It could also be fun for kiddos to put some Valentine's-y things in, maybe like a stick of gum or some stickers or something like that. This little guy is wanting to come off a little bit. On this one, I think this little straw is poking up and kind of knocking this top off. I'm going to trim it up a little, just like that. But you could also cut a little bit lower, like down here by the window instead of on the awning, and that might give it just a little more up here in the top to hold it together. So something to consider. I think that would have been a good idea. But I think these are just so fun. I love the little secret hidden surprises inside each one. I think it reminds me of when I was a kid and you used to do the Valentine boxes at school and everybody would exchange them. I used to try to make mine really cool. And then when my kids were a little bit older, we would try to do that with them as well. Just challenge ourselves to make a really cool box. One year we made a box out of chocolate. Boy, I'm having a trouble with this lid. There we go. I don't think I can multitask by talking and doing something at the same time. But anyway. Okay. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this project, and we hope that you'll subscribe to our channel. Just take a minute right now to click that button and comment below with how you think you might use this, what you think you could add to these pockets, and who you might give it to. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.